because we still need to go down to Tuscaloosa and talk a little bit about Alabama and Houston, which that was a classic, man. That was we might have gotten two of the five best non-conference games of the season on Saturday between Arizona, Illinois, and Alabama and Houston. So, Tio, I'm going to go to you first on this one. Was it a goaltend?
Yeah, it was a goaltend.
It was?
Yeah, and you text us in our group chat during the show when it happened. It wasn't going to go in. Well, it doesn't matter if it's still over the cylinder. It doesn't matter if it's going to go in or not. If the ball is in that cylinder above, and it doesn't have to be a whole lot of the ball, it has to be very little, and they go up there and they block it away, it's considered a goaltend, and it was on the way down. It should have been reviewed. What should have happened is they should have blown the whistle and figured it out before time expires. The problem with what happened is that they let time expire. And then you can't retroactively go back into a game and change a call. Just can't do it. So if they blow the whistle and there's still time on the clock, it would have been reviewable, right?
Well, the issue was that there was no call. If you call a goaltend, you can review whether or not it was a goaltend. If you don't call a goaltend, you cannot go back and review whether or not it was a goaltend. So they didn't call a goaltend. Now, I will say this. By rule, you are 100% correct. That probably should have been a goaltend. It was a tip that was still above the rim. That ball had no chance of going in. You can look at it from every different angle that you want. It was going to bounce off of the side of the rim and go off. It was probably a very, very dumb play by J.D. Davidson to even touch that ball when it was anywhere near the rim. But I don't think that he did not change the outcome of the game by swatting that shot away. So like it probably should have been called. Kelvin Sampson has every right in the world to be pissed off. I maybe don't kick the chairs like Kellen did after the game. That was probably not the greatest.
Oh, he apologized, did he?
Yeah, there was a Houston player that flipped over a trash can, and then another Houston player went and picked it up, picked up the mess. But I don't think that if the game played out without anybody touching that ball, I don't think that Houston would have won the game. That's all that I'm trying to say. So maybe it's like a ball don't lie kind of, I don't know, whatever it is. That said, let's just talk about how good both of these teams are, because I think we were looking at two Final Four teams there. When it comes down to a situation when you have two teams that played that well, and it comes down to one call like that, I feel very comfortable saying that you just watched two teams that can make a Final Four, fans.
Oh yeah, you did, and the whole podcast today has been about teams that could feasibly make a Final Four. It's loaded. I mean, it's like a deli line in Manhattan right now. Take a number and tell us your case. Tell us what you want. I'd go with the roast beef and Swiss. I'll tell you what.
No, I'm not a roast beef guy. I'm not a roast beef guy. I don't understand. Like I'm a big like Italian sandwich guy.
Well, so am I. But if you're going to make the Final Four, you better like some red meat.
Well, yeah, I mean that's what's on an Italian sandwich.
Why do you have to like red meat in order to be a Final Four contender?
Because we're not taking chicken or salmon to the Final Four. You better like your red meat, baby.
Okay, touche. There you go.
I mean, when we're in New Orleans, the Field of 68 dinners are featuring red meat. We're not eating chicken tenders and French fries.
Yeah, and a $15 bottle of $15 box of wine, apparently.
First of all, I think I said 30. Did I say 30? What did I say?
Well, I can't remember exactly.
Either way, Fana, here's the definitive best sandwich on the entire planet. I'm going to give it to you right now. My hometown deli still calls this the Rob Special. Okay, you got a nice fried breaded chicken cutlet, right? You need a sub, right? On the bottom of the sub, you got to put some mayo down there. Then you put a little bit of like the shredded lettuce on top of the mayo. Then you get that nice, fresh, piping hot chicken cutlet and throw it right on top of that bed of lettuce. You got to make sure you have a little bit of cheese on there. You got to get the cheese on, preferably cheddar, sharp cheddar. You got to get it on there while the chicken cutlet is still hot so that you put it down and it starts melting right away, right there. Then you got to make sure you got to get a little bit of bacon on top of that.
Yes.
Then you got to get some of the hot peppers on there too, right? And then you top all of that off with a nice little layer of barbecue sauce. Put the other bread on top of it.
Curveball.
Nice. Great sandwich. Look,
if you have a nice, fresh, warm, straight out the oven bun or straight out the oven.
Roll. Nice hoagie roll
right there. Give it a nice little panini push on the top to get that bread kind of like a manageable bite size. Boom.
Yeah. Shout out to Milburn Deli in Milburn, New Jersey. They got the best Godfather sandwich, which is a lot like the sandwich you just listed. Okay. Enough sandwich talk. J'Wan Roberts for Houston. He had 13 rebounds in this game. I love how hard he plays. And you just look at Houston from top to bottom. We knew that Sasser was a great player. Marcus Sasser is one of the best players in college basketball. And he doesn't get discussed enough because he plays for Houston and he plays in the American. I mean, that's just the reality of the situation. But he's one of the best players in college basketball. If you look at what they did against Alabama, who out-physicaled, out-accelerated Gonzaga, I learned more about Houston in this game than I learned about Alabama. And Houston lost by a point. I really did. I knew Alabama was really, really good. We all knew that. They're a great basketball team. And they showed again. They were at home. They should beat Houston. They won that game. Javon Quinterly continues to be outstanding. That wasn't a revelation. He fits Alabama perfectly, and Nate Oates has done a terrific job coaching him up. And look, for Alabama, that's a team that has not had any drop-off between Bediako and Gary. They're defensively, no drop-off, which is saying a lot. But to me, I wanted to see Houston in this atmosphere, in this level of a game. And the Cougars are back to where they were at that level, fully capable of getting back to the Final Four. They don't always play pretty, but they could take a punch. And I learned that in this game. They could take a punch and they'll punch right back. High-level college basketball game. Alabama deserved to win the game. They did, so I agree with the ball don't lie aspect of that. But I learned a lot about Houston in this game. I was not that familiar with who they are. I like their role players. I like their physicality. I think Kelvin Sampson has done a terrific job with that program.
Yep. Houston is going to be a team that is probably going to end up being pretty underseeded when it comes to the tournament. If you look at their schedule right now, they play Oklahoma State, Cincinnati, Wichita State twice. They got Cincinnati twice. They get Memphis. They don't really play anybody. They're not going to have any marquee wins. But they are a 2-point loss to Wisconsin and a 1-point loss to Alabama that arguably they should have won if a call had gone the right way for them, away from being undefeated right now. So that's going to be a team that probably ends up on that 4, 5, 6 line that you might want to take a long look at as a team that can make a run. TL, real quick before we move on to other stuff in the SEC, I just want to ask you this. I feel like Alabama is a little bit easy to game plan for if you can execute it correctly. If you stay home on shooters, you play drop coverage and just basically dare them, say, all right, we're going to find a way to stop your ball screens 2-on-2, right? You get back in transition. You don't go to the offensive glass. And you just say, we're going to stay home on shooters and play your ball screens 2-on-2 and hope that we can do a good enough job to stop them. I feel like you can have a chance to beat them. Then we saw Iona do it in the whatever event that they were playing in. Houston did a pretty good job with it on Saturday night. I feel like Alabama should be easy to stop, but they're not easy to stop. They keep lighting people up. What's your takeaway on this team?
They're so fast and they have so many guys that can break you down. That's the thing that scares me when it comes to we can game plan. Don't send anybody, everybody get back. Well, that's great in theory until your worst defender is guarding J.D. Davidson because of all the guards in there. Mm-hmm. That's your issue is their depth, their depth at guard. And guys, I thought Juwan Gary was a defensive piece. I thought that's all he was going to be. I thought Noah Gurley was going to come in and play a lot of minutes. He's developed his offensive game. He wasn't always that. If he's serviceable on offense, they could be really good. And the guy that surprised me as well is Charles Bediako. Yep. This is a kid that has embraced the fact that, hey, man, my stats aren't going to look pretty, but I'm going to do all those other things. They're so good at guard. And they're so fast in how they play that even on makes, they're hard to match up with because that ball gets in there so fast. And whenever you have 4 guys at a time, sometimes 3, sometimes 4 guys at a time that can use the ball screen or create on their own, you can game plan all you want. You can play drop coverage all you want, but you're still going to be able to get those guys out in space because they have so many players there. And that's going to be the biggest problem for anybody playing against them. Iona benefited a little bit because they were smaller. But at the same time, how many people is Alabama going to run into that can actually match up with that? Like, especially the way Quinterly's playing right now.